Have you ever wished you could just show somebody what your MS fatigue was like? People just don't understand when you try to explain MS and heat intolerance. Well, all of that changes today. This is awesome. You guys are gonna love this. I've removed the nerve fibers from Fred's brain here. Gonna need to use this so you can see that. Right here, I have a heat lamp. You see where I'm going with this? Well, it's a little bit like the myelin sheath insulation on our nerves. Instantly starts coming down. And what can we do to stop a chain reaction of heat fatigue before it starts? I'm your host, Cliff. Let's go. Okay, so I have set up a demonstration that literally allows us to quantify heat fatigue in action, heat intolerance. How does it work? What does it do? And this will be easier for people to understand, I think. And we're gonna see these changes happen in real time, which is something we can't do with this. We can feel it, but you can't see it from the outside. But today we're gonna see it. This is awesome. You guys are gonna love this. Okay, so I've removed the nerve fibers from Fred's brain here. This is Fred's brain. This is Fred. Hey, Fred, you might remember Fred from other episodes. He's helped us with other demonstrations. He's a little bit of a resting bee face, but he doesn't have a brain in him, so we can't really hold that against him. So I have a piece of his spine and his brain. We're just gonna put those over here on the side. Right here, I have a heat lamp, and here is Fred's brain. I've stripped away all the stuff from Fred's nervous system, leaving only the nerve fibers, and there's about 836 feet of them. Now, here's a fun fact and something people don't really know. If you took every nerve fiber in the human body, one human body, and you laid it end to end, it would stretch around the earth 18 times, 450,000 miles. And the nerves in the brain and the spine alone equal about 110,000 miles end to end. So the next time somebody says, well, you got a lot of nerve, yeah, you do, like enough to make it to the moon and halfway back. And that person is either going to tell you to shut up or they're going to beat you up with those facts. Either way, it's still pretty awesome. Nerdy fact fun right there. Okay, so now let's get nerdy-er. What I have here is 32 gauge enamel coated copper wire, and it's about twice the thickness of a human hair, which is much, much larger than your actual nerve fibers. But in your nervous system is the element, the atoms of copper. And copper is a very cool conductor, but copper has this thing to it. It is thermally sensitive and it does not like thermal changes. You see where I'm going with this? Now, copper does play a crucial role in the human body, and it is a big part of the central nervous system. Let me just set up some things here, make sure you can see them on camera. Gonna need to use this so you can see that. We're gonna hook up this copper wire. Now, copper is awesome, but everything has its weakness, and for copper atoms is they're highly reactive to temperature changes. And in our central nervous system, we have these things called sodium ion channels. They control the electricity flow. But part of those gates is copper atoms. And when those copper atoms change behavior, whether they're getting hot or cold, they can really throw those sodium ion channels through a loop. And if you have multiple sclerosis like I do, and you probably do because you're watching this channel and you're subscribed, liked, and you share it and you comment below, you know fatigue hits you like a bus. And when your energy tanks from fatigue, it becomes difficult to walk. It becomes difficult to talk, which I'm having issues with right now, as usual. And even putting a thought together becomes very, very difficult. But it's not your lack of willpower, it's physics at play. And I'm about to show you exactly how that works. With this ohms meter, this measures resistance in wire. And we're going to use a heat lamp. Now we're going to start to slowly heat up this copper wire. Remember, you have copper in your central nervous system, and this simulated nervous system is, well, not going to react well. And in this gauge right here, the higher the number goes, the more resistance there is. And the more resistance there is, the more energy we need to pump through the starting point to get to the end point. Now, the starting point could be a brain, and the end point could be a bicep if I had one. But as humans, we've been like, well, if things get hard, we just got to try harder. You physically can't try harder when this system breaks down. All right, let's see what we got here. This, again, is the ohms meter. And that, again, is measuring the resistance through this 800 feet of copper wire. And now I'm going to turn on this heat lamp. And this is one of our favorites, right? It's a hot, sunny day. And if we look, we're starting off at 81 degrees. But as this copper coil starts to warm up, those atoms start to warm up. They start to move a lot more. They start creating their own friction. They're neurotic. They're all over the place, and they're having a hard time finding their path. Now, this particular wire has an enamel coating over it that works a little bit like the myelin sheath insulation on our nerves. If I were to take that off, this whole system would short out. Energy would find the path of least resistance. It might not ever make it to the end point. It might just dissipate as heat. You can already see, even this early on, the resistance is going up as we induce heat. All right, now we're at 106 ohms and climbing. That is quite a bit of resistance. Now let's check our temperature, and we are at 101 degrees. I don't know if you guys can see that there. And here's the thing with the human nervous system, because it's so insanely complex. I mean, all we are is basically one giant walking nerve, because we're just something trying to feed our brains and find our way around this world. And on a super hot day, a quarter to a half degree isn't that far of a stretch, especially if we're dehydrated. So being that I'm making a super sciencey nerdy video here, I'm just an engineer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare provider. This is not medical advice, it's just a fun little experiment to show our fatigue versus feel it. I wanted to make the point that while this is happening, I have found a few things that work really well in cooling my system down, and I'm going to try them here on our little nerve sample. I've got my mister here. We're going to do evaporative cooling, and we are going to turn this on, and we are going to spritz this with some water and see what happens. Oh, look at that. Instantly starts coming down. All right, the sun has gone down for our little pile of nerves. If we had blood circulating and we had evaporative cooling happening with sweat, it would cool down probably a little bit quicker. All right, so what can we do? Well, we can stay in the shade. We can try to stay out of the heat. We can't avoid it all the time. I mean, we're coming up on summer here in North Carolina. I hate being inside all day, every day. However, staying cool has really kept my mind much less angry at the situation, if you know what I mean. And hopefully if someone sees this that doesn't understand my condition, they'll be like, oh, so he can't push through it, and he shouldn't push through it, because he could do a lot more damage than just overheating temporarily. And if your brain has to rebuild that neural pathway like I talked about in secondary progressive in my last episode, well, that requires a ton of energy, and it may not always come back. So not only is it a mild inconvenience, I think there is some danger to it. But of course, talk to your neurologist. They know way more than I do. I just know the engineering aspect of it. I know once this wire melts down, it's just a melted wire. It's no longer a functional transport method of energy. So this summer, I just have to remember enough is enough, when to back off, when to draw my boundaries, and also just remember to drink and stay cool the whole time, as much as I possibly can, and try to have some fun in the process. So thank you for watching my brief demonstration. Hopefully it made some sense. I love doing these types of demonstrations. Can you think of one? You can comment below, leave it, maybe I can do it. If you like this type of format, let me know below in the comments. And of course, like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get advised of the next one. I do have a new project coming up that is gonna be pretty freaking awesome if I can make it work. But you'll be right there watching me fail if I can't. I'm Cliff, this is Life with MS, and until next time, I need a nap.